Welcome to the Know Yourself Revolutions. My name is Grace Gravestock, and today we have a panel of speakers that are going to share with you some fascinating stories about their hero's journey. We're going to hear about it in 4 little snippets. So we're going to start with, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, just do a brief introduction.
Absolutely. I am Mike, and I help frustrated goal setters finally achieve success in all areas of their life by using my 5 steps to success using the DIRT method. I'll tell you about that a little bit later.
I'm Dr. Wendy, and I empower entrepreneurs to take control over their finances to become financially free with my financial cure system.
Hi, I'm Wendy Lee, and I help burned out women reclaim their time, renew, and restore by slowing the F down so that we can really get back to the essence of who we are. And I do that with my restorative Hustle Healthy Retreat.
Hi everyone, my name is Will. I'm actually known as the bow tie sober guy, and so you will hardly ever catch me without a bow tie. If you do, you need to say hi for sure. And I actually help entrepreneurs, growth-minded entrepreneurs who are looking to reach the next level in their business, whether it's starting out or if they've been in business for a while, overcome all the challenges. And you'll learn more about that in my bow tie blueprint program that I have, transforming all of the knots that we have in life.
You just keep it and start it on one.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Welcome to the Know Yourself Revolution, where we help others know, love, and trust themselves. So in the next round, what we'd really like to hear is about a book that you found particularly helpful in your journey, just briefly. And this is to inspire, to connect, motivate, and inspire others to connect with whatever the greatness is that they have yet to connect with.
Thank you for the question, and I have read a lot of books, and there's a lot of great books out there. I have very strong faith, so of course my most favorite book, of course, is the Bible, and that has been really instrumental. And I had mentioned I'm the bow tie sober guy, and there is a book that goes in recovery called Alcoholics Anonymous that also was very instrumental in changing my life.
Thank you.
Yeah, so many books to choose from. I remember when I first started on my transformational journey, I just wanted to consume everything. And I read every single book in my self-help section of my own personal library from start to finish. And one that was sitting on there that I had bought a couple years before was The 4 Agreements. And The 4 Agreements just spoke to me in such a simple way of how simple it was for us to really take ownership of our lives by being impeccable with our word, not taking things personally, doing our best, and what's the 4th agreement? Anybody remember? Anyway, it's a great book, but it's a simple read. I read it in 2 days, and it definitely changed my perspective, and I use it in some of my teachings as well.
Wow, thank you.
I've read a lot of books as well, but I am going to have to say that my book series, The Financial Cures, I have 2 books in that series, Diagnose Your Financial Health and Optimize Your Financial Health. And I'm not trying to brag, but because it's empowered so many other people to get their finances in order, so that's made a big difference. And then people say, well, why are you the expert? Why are you the financial healer? It's because I wrote the books on it. I'd have to say that.
Awesome.
My favorite book is the book I am reading currently. I've read lots of books like everybody else. Right now I'm reading a book called 10 Times is Easier Than 2 Times. It is by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. One of the things in that book that has really stood out to me is they talk about when you make a decision what it is you want, make it without any justification to anybody else. You decide what you want, and you go for that thing that you want. And they talk about because you have a unique ability. Nobody else is like you. I love that. That's a part of my message as well, and I think probably everybody here. You are special. Nobody else is like you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So I want to have you ask, we're going to have 2 more. So if you could just share with us a little bit about your hero's journey. So what we found in the Know Yourself Revolution is that most successful entrepreneurs have had a significant challenge that they've had to overcome. And that usually leads them to a significant clue in what they're here to be and do. Sometimes it's direct and sometimes it's indirect. Could you share one challenge that you had to overcome come on this journey to becoming a successful entrepreneur.
Absolutely, and this one particular one also connected me on getting involved in working with positive mindset. Back in 2003, I had finally gotten up to 285 pounds. My mom had been after me to lose weight. Bless her heart, she loved me. She was trying to help me, but she was trying to get me to do things. She bought me a book. I think it went in the trash. I didn't read it. I'd go visit. She'd have like diet mayonnaise or low-calorie mayonnaise. I'm just like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But I finally got to the point, I'll make this very short, I dropped a pen on the ground and I had to decide how much I wanted to pick up that pen because I couldn't without getting on the floor, and I had to figure out how to get up. But that was then my decision. I decided it was time, and I set out purposely to do so, and I lost 100 pounds over the next 13 months. During that process, the company that I began to work for with the weight loss products I was using had Jim Rohn as one of their featured speakers. And that was my first introduction really to this arena. Fell in love with him, fell in love with the whole process. And so that really began my journey on really seeking out those people that had that positive mindset that helped me and that I wanted to use to help other people.
I love that. Thank you.
I started my entrepreneurial journey. Matter of fact, I'm celebrating 4 decades. I'm like, I can't believe it's been 4 decades. I started when I was like 2.
I was going to say, started early.
Yeah, but I, in 2014, when the government mandated that we all have health insurance, I expanded my business to include insurance and financial services. So in 2017, I was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer. But thank God I bought all the products and services I was selling to my clients because they were asking, what do you have? Where's your money? And I can honestly say I had those things, but not because I did all that because of a personal financial planning strategy. It was more from a business and marketing strategy. So when I found I had the cancer, I told my doctor, look, if it's aggressive, I'm going to be aggressive. So that meant every 3 weeks, chemotherapy for a year, 5 surgeries, all the CAT scans, PET scans, MRIs, everything that you needed to conquer the disease. At the end of my journey, or my battle, I should say, I had medical bills totaling almost $1.5 million.
Wow.
But can you imagine having that kind of medical debt, or expenses, I should say, because it turned out not to be debt for me. But while you're battling cancer and having your personal and business finances as well, so I said, thank God I practiced what I preach, because my medical insurance paid all that. And because all the other supplemental products I had purchased, I ended up getting multiple 6-figure tax-free financial shots in the arm that allowed me to focus on my recovery and not worry about money. As a result of that, I said, okay, I found the financial cure for breast cancer. So that's how the Financial Cures became into existence, my company. And my book series and my TV show and all the other stuff that goes with it.
That's amazing.
Amazing. My journey, I was trucking along in my corporate career, 30 years in the corporate world, and sitting in the position of Senior Vice President of HR. Big deal, right? Moved every single step. And I was the perfect example of that. I was a people pleaser, I was a shaker, a mover, I was a problem solver. I got to help other people, and that was all great. And simultaneously, on the side, I was having this string of very abusive relationships with different people. And it finally got to this breaking point, and I thought, what is it about me? What's wrong with me that I can be so successful in my career, but here I am, I have this secret that I have to go home and I'm either in a narcissistic abusive relationship or a physical abusive relationship, and it just didn't make sense. But my soul was tired. It had enough. And so I literally put my hands in the air and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I became a voracious advocate for myself. And I started just consuming everything I could, because partly I thought I was broken. And so I wanted to fix this thing. And basically what happened is I wound up going to a retreat. I did not know what a retreat was. I just knew I needed some of that. And there was a life coach that was putting on the retreat. And I got this aha in the moment that made me realize that really all the stuff that I was doing in the corporate world matched what I was doing in my personal life. I was hustling for my self-worth in both my relationships and in my career, because I didn't think I was enough. And that just stems from everybody has a story. I even overexcelled in the ACEs mental health. I got all 10 of them. So divorces, drug addiction, people, my parents with mental illness, being sexually abused by my father, every single thing, a death of a parent. So of course I walked into the world with these coping mechanisms that worked, but they didn't work. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to start incorporating this as the Director, Human Resources, Senior VP, and I started leaning in and being more human. And what I found is people weren't coming in my office because they couldn't get along. It's because they were having trauma that was getting triggered. And so I just started being more vulnerable, sharing my heart, sharing my story. People started opening up, and I thought, there's something here. So at the height of my career, when everybody said, you're crazy if you leave, I was like, I want to be a life coach and do this on my terms, say what I want to say, how I want to say it, and that's what I help particularly women leaders with right now.
Beautiful.
That is so great. First, I want to congratulate everyone. Amazing stories. Mine is probably not that different, just different. And mine really started when I look back at it. I was living the American dream, literally living the American dream. Had the family, had the cars, had the vacations, had the kids in sports and travel, and we were doing all these things. And then 2008 and 2009 happened, and I was in an industry that was decimated by the recession. I introduced myself as the bow tie sober guy, and I always had been a partier, never a drinker. I was always a partier. There's a difference. And then that happened. And when that happened, I went through this phase where I literally started losing everything. And when you walk out into your garage and there's a tow truck sitting there repossessing one of your cars, and then within months, you're short selling your house, I lost who I was as a human being, as a father, as a spouse, as a friend, as a son. And I lost everything that I had placed my hope and trust in at that time of my life. Interesting thing is that went on for a long time. And I kept trying to find myself. And in that time, I continued to drink, and I truly became an alcoholic that was drinking against his will. I could not drink. A series of events takes me to 2017, and in 2017 was literally the most transitional time in my entire life that I can ever think about. And it was the hardest and the best at the same time. And I went from not being able to drink to not wanting to live, spending 4 days in a psych hold because I was going to take my own life. And the only reason I didn't was because I had those two boys who were young men at the time. And you'd think that would be enough, but it wasn't. And I was at a point where I wanted to take my own life. I got sober, and I was sober for 10 weeks. And then through a freak accident with a job that I had, I fell and my wrist got sliced to the bone, and I was literally on the roof of a house bleeding out after cutting both arteries, praying to live. But you'd think that would keep me sober, but it didn't. And I went back out until November 14th of 2017, when I made that final decision that this was it. And even in my recovery journey, the things that I've learned, and that's what I want to share with people, is I've gone through a divorce in sobriety of just short of 28 years. I've had my own cancer that I've been able to overcome, along with a number of other professional challenges. And it's through those things that I've been able to learn that it's not about the car, it's not about the house, it's not about the vacations, but it's about the things that I've learned about myself. And now I can help individuals take that into their lives, but not only that, into their professions and their business, and help them thrive in a way they never thought was possible, because I've gone from the bottom of the bottle to the top of the mountain.
Wow, I love that. And so I believe that we're all called to lead by example in these times, and people like us are drawn together because we have a special message to share. We have a thing that we're here to do as part of, I see it as a part of a mission. We call it the 5 billion people by 2025 to be part of the Know Yourself revolution. That doesn't necessarily mean that everybody understands their energy blueprint or their human design, which is my thing, but what it does mean is that people are starting to lean in to their own, seeing the beauty within instead of looking outside themselves for direction, for guidance, and starting to listen to their own inner guidance system. So that's the world that we're building. So thank you for being part of the Know Yourself revolution. Before we go, if you could just do a quick shameless plug. If people that are listening resonate with your story, I know they're going to want to work with you. So what's just the short, quick, how could somebody, maybe you have a free download or something that you can offer so that people can get better acquainted with you and maybe they're interested in working with you. If you have something, now would be the time. Could you share it?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do. And really the best way for me is I offer a free consultation. Let's figure out the best path for you. And if you go to my website, bowtieliving.com /services, bowtieliving.com /services, and you can schedule an appointment with me on that page, and I'd be glad to get together with you and talk about my Bowtie Blueprint, which is actually a 6-step program, and it's a acrostic for Bowtie, of course.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, it really is one person at a time to build this new way we're all being called to. So absolutely, I'm going to second that. The best way is to see what is best for you. And the only way we can do that is to get on a one-on-one personal call. The name of my company is Lead Her Ship Revolution. So if you go to leadhershiprevolution.com /connect, I would love to do a free, I call it a practical magical session. We'll hold some practicality in seeing where you are, what's in the way and where you want to go, and then bring the magic in to see what shows up of how that's going to be created.
Well, I don't know if you can check out my business card. Can you get up close enough? It's a $100 bill, but on the back side, it has my contact QR code, my website, my show, FinCures.com, is where you can see my TV show, Financial Cures with Dr. Wendy Labat, and I have a 7-day spending challenge that helps you, and it's free, and it helps you find the money to pay for the things you can't afford.
Nice. Thank you, Wendy.
All right, so people may ask, when I say 5 steps to success using the DIRT method, what's DIRT got to do with success? If you'd like to find out more about that, best thing to do is just shoot me an email, Mike@FutureU, Y-O-U, Future U University. Mike@FutureU University. Love to get in connection with you. Let me just add one thing. One of the speakers at the event we're all at today, and several people have said, we're here to make a difference. And the thought that I had was this, and I think everybody would agree with me. If you're not out to make a difference, what difference does it make? Right? So I think we all agree with that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of the Know Yourself revolution. Together we can positively impact 5 billion people by 2025.
Let's do it.
Thank you.